No,
Oh man, did y'all watch the new South
No,
Park?
you don't understand. For
I
years,
watched
I
the
used to
South
think
Park.
these were actual milkshakes. Like an actual gallon of milk being shaken.
Dude,
I'm
South Park.
not even kidding you. Like literally grabbing like a Hershey's syrup and just pouring it in and then just shaking it.
I legit love me some Hershey syrup. We got that new kind, the Simple 5.
No.
Oh man, it's so good.
I like my syrup like I like my women.
Ooh, and you're live, so tell us how you like your women.
I like my women like I like my coffee black.
Yeah. What a twist.
That's what I tell my girlfriend all the time because she's pasty white.
I love my wife, but she's a nice pale Casper.
So I like my women like I like my coffee black and full of sugar.
You guys are crazy.
Okay. Everybody, thank you for tuning in if you're still there. Yeah.
We're here.
Hey.
Hey.
We are here.
Hey.
All right, Brah.
Swag Ranger says 7 minutes late. We're actually like 25 minutes
We're like
late.
26 minutes late.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have the pregame show, you know.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, did you guys tune into the pregame show? Where were you at?
You didn't have the link?
Yeah. You should have paid for it. I should start. We'll start selling the pregame.
That's it.
I got to make some money, man. I'm broke. So people need to start paying me or something. Or
All right. Get some
Hey, you and
Get some
Capcom,
Patreon
man.
going on.
no,
got
I'm
some-
just
Got some Rihanna going.
yeah. That's what we should do. We start a Patreon and buy Capcom.
There you go.
Dude, if I bought Capcom,
buy
For the
Capcom
gamers,
Patreon.
by the gamers. Yeah.
dude, I think Microsoft could even make money off Capcom. You know, like because they got so many franchises, like you
Dude.
can't go wrong from that.
We'll talk about that in detail. But
I strongly disagree, but we'll get to that.
yeah.
Okay, sorry everybody. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the PlayStation BRAHcast, episode 6. The Brah. Wait, no, it's the Ultimate Brah edition because I changed the subtitle before I went live. It was the Brah Strikes Back, but now it's the Ultimate Brah edition with all the DLC and season pass you can think of. Because have y'all seen the Persona 5 that came out today? It was like, hey, you can get Persona 5 and all the DLC for like $125.
What a steal!
Yeah, you get costumes, yay, and some extra personas, which are pretty badass. But still, just buy the game. Don't buy all that frivolous junk. It's not
Still
worth
haven't
it.
finished it.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm like 100 hours into it.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah,
But
I'll play and play and play. Then I'm like, okay, I got to stop for a few minutes and play
dude,
something else.
I'm the Dory of video games. I just don't have the attention.
But anyway, sorry guys, we're getting off track again. Here we go. Story of my life. Yeah. You know what's up? It's me, the Brah, and we'll get this started tonight and let everybody introduce themselves. We have a special guest too, so go ahead, Kratos.
KravenGod.
Yeah, KravenGod.
Hey everybody, it's your boy J Dub, aka Kratos, the god of ladies. Hello, ladies. out there.
Whoa, wait.
Tonight is
Nice.
Whoa, wait.
tonight is PlayStation's Brah Sexy Edition. This is good for the ladies. All you guys, you got to get out of town. This is only for the ladies.
Yeah. Oh,
Just kidding. We got a great show for you guys today. Obviously, you know, the special guest. So let's get it going, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
All right, what's going on, guys? KravenGod, just socially awkward and playing Destiny. That's pretty much it. Still playing this game.
That's what you get, Kraven. You get special effects, brother.
I'm gonna be like the guy on Police Academy.
Well, you're the only person that gets special effects too. Everybody else is just, hey, what's up? And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Dude, I don't have the voice. Kratos, he's amazing, man. He's like the radio DJ.
He's
I'm
got-
over here like,
Hey guys, check me out.
Hey.
A video game. Hoo-hoo.
It's got that deep, soothing voice.
And then Kratos is like Barry White of gaming.
He's like,
hello,
hey,
ladies. And
he's like, hey,
Take
baby,
your panties off.
exactly.
Wanna make love to your woman.
I can't let my wife listen to this podcast because she'd probably leave me.
Hello, ladies.
I need some coffee. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Anchorman.
I'm sorry, Anchorman. It's a little crazy in this house.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
That's
tell us who
great.
you are. Like, who are you? How did you get on the show? Who invited you?
Oh well. Through a long series of wars of attrition, plenty of spies and spy networks being integrated to every society. So the usual way of getting on a podcast. But yeah, my name's Anchorman, Anchorman V2. You can follow me on Twitter. Same thing. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch Gang. And I'm actually glad to be on the show.
Hashtag Switch Gang.
Oh yeah, I got a hashtag instead. Yeah. But so yeah, I'm actually really honored to finally be asked to be on the show. Finally.
Well, I asked you a while back, but no one else could show up, remember?
Yeah, well, it's not my fault.
No.
I said, okay, let's do it. 2-man podcast.
Yeah. And then Kraven and Kratos never said a word. I'm like, well, there's no podcast this week.
Dude, I'm the worst.
No, it's all good, man. We have lives and other podcasts to do. And I mean, Anchor has his, and then KravenGod, Kratos has his on occasion, and just we have games we got to play too.
Yeah.
And then wives and kids and other stuff like that. But
all that secondary stuff.
Yeah. But no, Anchorman, tell us about yourself, man. Tell us about what's going on with you, the website you work for, your podcast.
So yeah, like I said, I'm Anchorman V2. I work for the Inner Circle. I've been around for 2 years now, 2.5 years, something like that. I've been around for a couple of years now. As I like to say, the longest lasting white guy at Tick. I have my own podcast on Mondays called The Multiverse Show with a couple cool guys on there. Lots of really good conversations about gaming, entertainment news, comics, all that good stuff, kind of all convening in one multiverse dojo. So it's a good little show. I do Tick podcast on Saturday nights as well. More of an Xbox show, kind of like the Wolfsbane of PlayStation. So I'll take that. But yeah, so I'm having a good time, and I'm way more interested in being in the show right now. So I'm ready to get started.
Did you just say you're more of an Xbox show?
Xbox.
No, the Tick podcast is more of an Xbox show.
Hey, I've been on there twice now, and you never told me this.
No, Tick podcast, not multiverse. That's different.
That's true. Yeah, haven't been invited to Tig.
Tick podcast, the only non-IGN podcast to actually get Phil Spencer on the podcast.
Ooh,
that's pretty awesome.
Phil was like, after you got done, wait a minute, that wasn't IGN. Oops, sorry, Phil.
You said Phil kept saying you guys said Ryan was going to be here.
Yeah, where's Ryan at?
Oh yeah, Ryan's in the back.
We'll just go ahead and ask you all the questions. Oh, okay.
Wait, did you talk to Phil? Were you on that episode or what?
No, actually, the funny part about that is that story is actually a good one. So I was like episode 4 of Tick podcast. I wasn't part of the team yet, and I got asked to be on the. I got asked to go on the show, and so some of the other Xbox guys blew Cal and the team off, but I said yes, not really knowing what the deal was. I've always been upfront about this, but I was totally not paying attention during that whole podcast. What we're doing, I was actually playing Battlefield. I remember that pretty distinctly. And then after the show, after the show, was like a couple hours later, they announced, "Oh yeah, we got Phil Spencer coming on next episode." And I was like, "What?
What? Yeah.
Maybe I should have been paying attention."
That's messed up.
Yeah. Cal loves that story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I found out about it, and then after that, things kind of came into motion. The Tick team went to E3 in 2015, and then I went in 2016, and took a break this year, but
going back
hopefully next year.
Yeah,
that's kind of the plan if I can get enough money to go. So.
Yeah, those flights to California are kind of pricey.
Yeah.
Well, if you get it ahead of time, they're cheaper, but it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It's kind of one of those side projects here where I kind of secretly wish that North Korea blows up California for two reasons, namely one, the movie, three, two, there's no Fallout amusement park.
Oh my god!
So.
Goodbye.
Oh, by the way, side thing, I'm a huge Fallout Bethesda fan, so that's kind of a key piece here. So.
I'm playing New Vegas. Where does that sit on the pedestal of Fallouts?
Oh, my personal favorite, New Vegas.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I played through 3. I even did all the expansions and loved it. But New Vegas is it's starting. I mean, I'm just starting out, probably an hour in. I keep accidentally killing people I shouldn't kill, and but I'm like,
you realize almost everybody has their own mission.
Yeah, so I'll just carry on my wayward son. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. New Vegas, I really enjoy as over all the other ones in particular, maybe because New Vegas had a good mixture of a open-ended ending in terms of a main campaign. You could go really any way you wanted. You could play any way you wanted to, and there were even secret factions you could bring back to help you in the fight at Hoover Dam at the end. And that was what was so cool about it. And you could have almost anybody in different alliances and such. And I really loved that about that game in particular. The DLC was always fun. Good open areas, fun microcosms of consequences. And actually, after New Vegas, I like Fallout 4 the second best, honestly. A lot of people don't like that, but I
like Fallout 4. I think it's a lot of fun.
Pretty cool.
I think Fallout 4 is more of a proof of concept as opposed to the other ones where it's okay, Fallout finally reached the zenith of what is Fallout about? It's about survival and crafting.
Yeah.
It's about those two things, and they finally nailed it so you could actually build something in the world that it felt tangible, that you had some sort of impact. And that's what I really dug about the game. And I felt even though 3 and New Vegas are better games in most other ways, except for graphics and gameplay, or gunplay rather. So, except for those, I felt like it finally figured out what Fallout is, and not just this kind of ragtag. Yes, it's an RPG and also a shooter, I guess. Yeah. But
I hope it's true. That's all I do. I just kill everyone. I'm just crazy.
The whole town's dead. Go talk.
It's Fallout 3. I remember they had that mission. It's oh man, that ugly town's blocking my view, and it's you want to blow it up, and I was as a matter of fact, I do.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but just my opinion. I think Fallout 4 that's my number one Fallout game, and I've played every one, including on the PC, the first one, but would be my number one game out of the series. But then Fallout 4 would have to be my number 2. I really love the story. I really love that game, and I can't wait for it to
play in VR.
Come into VR. Yeah, play it on VR, man, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is it going to be on PSVR? Or
yes, sir. Yes, sir. In December.
What? That's crazy. I thought that couldn't be achieved. Oh. That's cool. That's really cool. I was kind of curious about how that was going to work because you know how some shooters where Farpoint has where you walk, correct? I haven't played Farpoint.
Correct,
so
yeah.
Correct me. So you walk around, you're pointing a gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's my ideal way that I want to play a shooter. Even Resident Evil. To me, Resident Evil 7 is perfect. The aiming, everything just feels great. I'm totally immersed. So with Fallout 4, does it have that thing where you point to where you want to go, and all of a sudden your character just teleports there? Or are you actually walking? Do you know?
No.
Isn't there both?
That's how they got Doom running.
I hate that.
Not as far as I know.
Well,
It's not a teleport game. It's an actual walking game.
Because somebody said Skyrim did both. You can either do the teleport or you can control it.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you guys why, okay? There are some people that get motion sickness.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. So the whole teleporting thing helps them to not, it lessens the effect. And to tell you the truth, it doesn't matter if you go see a 3D movie or VR. If you go to the movie and see a 3D movie and you can't stand it, you're just not a candidate for VR. That's just what it is.
Like the teleportation stuff is what makes me dizzy. Like my brain is like, you're standing in this place, and then all of a sudden, whoa, I'm out in the field. Like my brain, like it does something to your head, man. It'll throw your equilibrium off or something, man. It's crazy. Give you all vertigo or something. I don't know, man. But it's that's my hit and miss experience with VR. Like if I'm immersed, like I like being able to control myself, like walk around, look around. But when I have to zip, like this location, I hate that, man. Like it kind of gets my head all fuzzy. I don't know. Give me brain damage or something.
Screwed over.
Kraven's slowly getting brain damage
in
VR.
Me love VR.
VR fun.
VR cool.
Yeah.
VR, I messed around with VR. It's just not for me. Part of it is I do wear glasses, but even without glasses, I can still see pretty well. But it just wasn't doing it for me personally.
I love.
Well, I know PSVR. It adjusts so if you wear glasses, it actually fits pretty well.
I've done PSVR. I've done Oculus Rift and Vive now.
You went to E3, didn't you?
So I mean, I've toyed around with all of them, but it's just not it for me. So I get it.
Resident Evil 7, man. That in Farpoint with the gun and stuff. Those are the two games that it's a must play. Like once you go it opens up a whole new vision to VR. Now keep in mind, I have the Oculus Rift that I've been gaming for freaking year and a half on the PC side. So,
dude, Resident Evil 7 is the one game. Like I played through it without VR, but playing through it in VR is the most immersive VR experience I've ever played. Like right next to Job Simulator. And I know people think Job Simulator is kind of like a
great,
joke. Dude, Job Simulator is so immersive. Like you feel like you are there, and it's that kind of experience. So it's almost like it really tricks your brain. There's another one, but anyways, on Resident Evil 7, one of the parts that always got me was it's at the beginning, and when you're playing in VR, when you're hiding from the dad.
Spoilers, anybody?
Well, this is in the beginning. They showed it in the trailers and stuff, where he kind of busts through the wall and stuff like that. But it's just when you're hiding in the very beginning, you're crouched, but you can lean your head and look around this stuff, and you're like hiding behind objects, like in the environment. And it's just being able to take your head and look around an object is just insane, man. It's like the most immersive experience I've had, like in video games. Like, I don't know, VR to me could be something like really special. Like when the fidelity I feel like gets there to a point to where it's not that screen door effect.
Yeah.
It'll be huge.
I've noticed and again, it doesn't really, like, I'm racing in VR. I'm playing Project Cars or Assetto Corsa, and I don't see the screen door effect. And I know if you're looking for it, it's there, but nothing detracts me from it. Where I've said, obviously going into VR takes you into a whole different world. And one thing I notice when I'm in VR, I do, if whatever I'm doing, if it starts to get tense, I start sweating. And that's because my adrenaline is pumping. Like if I'm playing Resident Evil 7, obviously I'm scared and stuff like that. If I'm racing, obviously it's a workout because I'm using the racing wheel and stuff like that. So, but it's again, it may not be for everybody, but everyone has to try it out. As gamers, I don't see how we're going to progress with just keep having better graphics cards and better CPUs. Eventually, we have to do something different, and that's why I really like Nintendo, because they don't mind stepping out outside the box and trying new things.
Let me ask you this, Kratos.
Now, I will say the only kind of genre I thought was kind of cool was what was it? It was Eve Valkyrie in 2016 that was doing it, where you're in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Round, and that's really the extent of it. I think that's okay. Riggs. I think it's fine, but yeah, like Riggs looked like a cool idea, and I feel sucks that it got shut down. Sucks that the studio got killed out like that, but I felt like that was a cool proof of concept kind of game.
You know what it really is?
Big games.
Here's the thing. Okay, people are not going to gravitate to it until you get the Call of Duties or the Battlefields or the big names out there, and that's what it is. People are waiting for the Maddens and all those big names, but those guys will not. They're not. It's the chicken before the egg. They're waiting for VR to be, have a certain number of fan base, and then obviously the fans are waiting for the guys to deliver the game. So we're always at this stalemate.
Dude, I can't imagine the pinpoint. Yeah, Respawn.
They're making some title for Oculus Rift. They're making some first-person battle simulator.
Yeah, they're making.
They're pretty hyped.
Pretty exclusive. I think exclusive for it. But I mean, do you? What I was going to tell you, Chris? Like, do you think, or any of you guys, like Andrew House, like we hadn't talked about, him leaving. But do you think he was a major push for VR? And do you think with him not in the position that he is, do you think PSVR is going to go the way of PlayStation Vita?
No, I think here's the thing. I think Sony are balls to the walls for VR. There's no going back. They made a big investment in this, and they're going to see it through. It's not just them in it by themselves. I mean, they have Oculus, they have Vive. Microsoft is getting into it within the next couple of years. It's not going away right now. I mean, people are thinking just because it's not one in every household, and we tend to do that as gamers. We tend to say, well, if this game hadn't sold in the first week, it's a flop or whatever. And it's not like that with everything. That's just the way our minds think, especially when you're talking about a new piece of tech. Look at those stuff like the Walkman. People thought it was a dumb idea or it wasn't going to catch on, and the rest is history. I don't know. Again, will this first iteration, will that ever sell 50 million copies? Probably not.
Oh no.
Until the price gets to a point where it's feasible for people. This is an accessory. It's not a console. It's not a system. It's an accessory.
It's got to hit that critical mass point for it to really be adopted by the fans.
Yeah,
because I'm kind of on the same point too, where it's like the system itself, the accessory is the PlayStation VR. It was really more positioned as more of a long-term option, where we know in the long run, people aren't going to get down with this. That initially, they're not going to jump on board wholeheartedly, but really at the end, it has the potential of being that entry point to get people into VR. And it's definitely an option, but at least right now, I don't think the market's just quite ready for it. But again, that's something that can be fixed over time. It's just you're getting people involved first.
Yeah. I mean, they're supporting it. There's been over 100 titles. I won't say games because some are experiences, some are just add-ons to normal games.
They got Google Earth, man. They got all these different things that you can experience, and again, they gave you the demos on the discs and stuff. They wanted you to try it out. The whole Batman thing was cool.
Yeah,
Again, they're trying to entice these companies, these developers, to go and create something outside the box, full experiences, not just short demos. And Resident Evil, I think it nailed it. Gran Turismo, it nailed it. Just other things, you know.
How are you enjoying VR with your first sister?
Oh man, man, that's
one.
I could go on for hours about that.
Never mind. Oh, cancel.
Yeah. So, is it the definitive way to play Gran Turismo? Yes, it is. Can you have the same experience on something else? Yes, you can. Go with a cheaper wheel. As long as you have a wheel, that's going to give you the ultimate experience with playing any racer.
You panned across your room that day. My wife was like, "Oh my God, what the hell does he do for a living?" I'm like, "I can't tell you that, honey. It's top secret."
It's G15 classified.
I mean, you had like 3 chairs and 8 different pedals and the steering wheels. I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm heavily into virtual racing, man. I've been in tournaments and different stuff. It's a hobby of mine to.
That's not a hobby.
I'm a big car nut, so
yeah. Well, that's not a hobby. That's more of a dedication to the arts.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw that video. We were just like, damn.
Well, I had to show you my helmets. I have to show you the multiple rigs, the multiple wheels, the different pedals,
the helmets,
and just it's the whole shebang, you know.
Has your wife ever walked in and said, "What the hell are you doing, Jay?"
No, she doesn't. She, when I first got my first one, she saw it. She was like, "Okay, I see you got a new toy. Okay, cool." Then the next time she saw it, she was like,
another new toy?
Yeah, and then the third one, she was like, "Okay, that's just, this whole room needs to be yours. Just, I don't want to see it."
Hey, man, I was surprised you actually exist. That picture you posted of you at the Rockets game?
Oh, yeah, man.
I thought you were just arms and legs. That's all I've ever seen of you, man.
Well, being on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that, and talking to you guys. I mean, originally I was just one of those guys like, there's too many weirdos out here. I don't want to show my face or whatever. But then you get to know people. It's like, hey, it's life. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I try not to, piss off too many fanboys. So, hopefully the hate doesn't come my way. But it is what it is.
Twitter, like people on Twitter, like Twitter dehumanizes everyone. It really puts you in a perspective where people treat others as not even human, which is crazy.
Yeah,
and it's kind of sad. I know the same thing. Like sometimes, like I post something like of my children or something, But I don't do Facebook. Twitter's like the only thing I do. I used to do Facebook. And so my kids do something cool, I'll put it on Twitter. But then how these trolls work. And you're like, man, I will just choke the life out of one of them. I swear. Like, I just can't play. I don't like playing that stuff. But I don't mind if somebody says something about me or whatever. But it irritates me to think, like, you have these people trying to use children and say something. Man, it just makes me furious as a father. It's like... But,
well, when Mooch got exposed or whatever you want to call it, didn't they take pictures of his kids and start doing stuff with them?
Yeah, that's horrible, man. Yeah, I think the guy's a ball of crap. But
here's the thing. Here's my take on that. I'm a guy. I mean, you guys know me. I mean, I get on Twitter. I troll a little bit. I fan the flame ball wars, and I step back and laugh. And again, I try to have fun with it. But I never take it personal, and I never get personal with anybody. I never do that. I never get to that extent where someone would want to do that and find out about my family and do that, And some people have. They have taken it to the extreme by saying things and doing things. And if you play in that realm, then it's going to just come back and bite you.
Yeah, like him, he used to be like a straight up jerk, and I think like after that experience and when he came back, I think it really
changed. He changed.
Yeah, he did. Like he's
more reserved.
Yeah, well, he seems like a more thought collected person. Like he thinks about what he says and stuff, and I mean that's okay. But regardless, there is no reason for anybody to ever do that to anybody. I mean, that's horrible, you know.
Oh,
but that's the internet, man.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. We went to the we had some courtside seats to the Rockets game. They were playing the Mavericks, and
who won?
We were there. Houston, of course. My Rockets blew them out. Man, we were up about 40 points at one time.
Damn.
Yeah. So
is that with or without CP3?
That's without him because he's hurt. He won't be back for about a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they let the other team play?
But here's the thing, okay? They only in the last 5 minutes did they take out, like James Harden and all the other players,
That's the only guy I know is James Harden. Sorry.
Well, yeah, you got it.
I'm not a Rockets fan, so
yeah.
I'm representing the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh, what's so funny? Come on, man.
That was
I gotta support my team. There is something I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, what did you guys think about the collapse in NeoGaf? How it just happened? I woke up or something, and all of a sudden it was like NeoGaf is closed down, and
well, I think
I went. I was a member of it. I never posted that often because I was kind of intimidated by it because there was so many, developers on there and people on Twitter that I follow that are, these big famous gamers and all that. And I was always kind of shy about posting on there, but I always went there for news because you could find all kinds of rumors for deals, for good interviews, good good new videos. So when that happened, I was kind of sad that it closed down. But then when I read about it, I was sitting there going, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah, it's back up lately. They got it going
but
back up.
There's no mods, is there?
Nobody. None of the old people are there.
Because you'll see posts are like, "F you, Tyler."
Yeah,
I hate this website and
this is.
I think he broued it up mainly just trying to get the ad revenue back going again, and just trying to, kind of damage control the situation, and less in terms of oh, we got to actually we're gonna justify everything, even though that's what he was doing. He was trying to justify his actions.
Yeah, he made some posts.
What's the big joke going around? It's consensual and harmonious.
Yeah.
But, dude,
I know some people hate the website, but I thought it was kind of a good, important to gaming. Now, I'm not saying it was the holy grail, but I thought it had its place in gaming.
I think it's bad that it closed down because here's the thing, okay? How much groundbreaking leaks and news came out of NeoGaf? I mean, pretty much all of the stuff comes out of NeoGaf. So we won't have that anymore if it, closes down permanently. There's other sites and stuff like that.
The big people. Okay, so back. This is just more so a quick little history portion of it with NeoGaf in particular, because I was a member of NeoGaf. I never said anything, but
you get banned.
No, I just never said anything.
Yeah,
it was dangerous for Xbox guys back then. You had to be quiet.
I
say anything.
I think I've posted maybe 10 times in the past year that I've been on it. Maybe.
Yeah. But the thing with that was there was this whole age of 2013 through I want to say late 2014, probably early 2015. It was the age of the insider. I called it. It was basically this whole point where it was the Seaboat, Pete Dodd, Thruway, and it was just these guys, and they were just trying to outdo each other in terms of leaks. And it turned out a lot of them turned out to be really fake. And there was one person in particular who was routinely correct, and that was Shinobi. And
he's
Shinobi left NeoGaf.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just, everybody who was anybody in terms of the stories and leaks and stuff left. So I mean, it's just there's not a lot of value left in NeoGaf anymore, unfortunately.
Shinobi left because of Mass Effect Andromeda, right? Because he was saying how good it was, and people were like, "You're so full of shit. You're just helping the developers out."
I don't think that was entirely the reason, but they did accuse him of being a corporate shill.
I like Shinobi. He's a cool guy.
I don't know. As much as the flack that went on with Mass Effect, I bought the game day one. I enjoyed it. I didn't have any problem with the game. I didn't see the whole, lady walking crazy or the face. I didn't see any of that stuff.
Them faces.
And this game was dead before it even launched because of that. And this is probably why companies are going to go away from having early access and giving out review copies. Is because it can make or break. And these guys spent a lot of years and a lot of money and a lot of time making a game. Now, if that didn't have happened, right? If the early review copies didn't go out, people would have bought the game. They probably would have enjoyed it. It probably wouldn't have been the best Mass Effect ever created story-wise, but the game was beautiful. It was playable to me from start to finish. That's a complete game. I give it a solid 8. But that's just me. I think a lot of other people kind of overhype it. It was like the whole train. Once one person says something, another person says, and then the whole freaking industry is on it. You know what I'm saying?
When did it come out? When did I'm trying
March
to think
21st, 2017.
Yeah, it's already on EA Pass, to play. Like I downloaded it.
EA Access. It just went under this week.
Yeah. So
I picked it up day one, but I got bored, honestly.
That EA Access, dude. $30 for a year, man. You can't beat that. I mean, look how fast that game's on there. Like,
that's a good deal, man.
You basically don't buy any EA games.
Basically,
dude.
But if you do that though, I mean, that company's going to go out of business. I mean,
you would think that, but then I'm thinking they must be making a killing off this thing as well. Like,
who really wants to wait? If there's a game like, for example, Mario is coming out Friday. There is nowhere in the world I'm waiting an hour, let alone 6 months for that game to come. It's not going to happen. It's not built into me.
You know what I think it does? I think EA Access, this is exactly what it does. You feel like you're getting games for free, which you are in a sense, because it's such a cheap price. But then they get you with the free-to-play. It feels like a free-to-play game because every game that they have now, these newer ones, has where you can buy like crates or buy these, options. So you feel like you didn't pay anything for the game, but then you could buy extra. Like I think Mass Effect I saw had you could buy I think it's from the multiplayer, I think. But I don't know, man. I don't know how they expect to get their money back on this stuff. I mean, I really don't know that side of the business to know, but I know that is one of the coolest things. I have Dead Space. I bought it a long time ago on 360. So I have it on my Xbox One. They recently released Dead Space 2 on there, and I just downloaded. They put it in the vault, so I never played through it, so and they have all the Mass Effects on there. You can just download them from the first one now all the way to this one, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I had never played Mass Effect before this year, and I played through Mass Effect 2 and 3 right before launch.
Wow. Yeah.
And I played it. I actually just beat Mass Effect Andromeda this week.
Nice.
I've been seeing. Oh man,
Thank you.
Thomas, we could barely hear you, Brah.
Barely.
Brah.
Hello.
You sound distant.
Come back to us.
Something happened. You unplugged something, or
he's being kidnapped by the Xbots.
What about now?
There you go.
You're good.
There he is.
Okay, I apologize.
He fought him off.
Anchor, have you not played the first Mass Effect?
I tried. It's horrible.
Oh my god!
The gameplay is absolutely horrible.
No,
the gameplay is pretty much unplayable.
Bro, you need to boot him immediately.
Wait. Bro. What system did you must have played it on the Xbox?
Well, I can't play it on PlayStation now, can I?
Well, I'll tell you what.
The PS3.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy a PS3 just to play one game.
Hey, I think it's on PS now.
But see, that's the thing, man. These people these games like that. Those games, by today's standards, they don't cut it.
Yeah.
But if you played it back in this day when it was released, that was cutting edge, man. That game. Yeah. When I played first Mass Effect,
I get it. I get it. I am not critiquing. I went through, watched the cutscenes, got all the stuff out of it. I was okay. I'm like, okay, I get you. It's a good story. But I put it pretty much on par with Mass Effect Andromeda, which Mass Effect Andromeda has the best gameplay, but the worst story. And in retrospect, you have Mass Effect 1, which has the worst gameplay. So,
man.
It was very much more an RPG shooter because certain weapons you had to mod them this way, and you couldn't do this, and the armor. And
that's why I'm thinking about everybody. You know, like the OG Xbox games are available, and I've been seeing people post stuff about KOTOR, and I was like, I saw the pictures of it, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go back and play that. Like, it looks so bad, and I just don't want to ruin.
That's a nostalgia hype thing. People get into their nostalgia, and they don't look at things objectively.
KOTOR's twist was awesome. Okay.
Yeah, best story, dude. If that was a movie,
oh my god,
would be the best Star Wars movie.
I'm the bad guy. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
hey,
it's what they're doing. Like, going back and playing those games, though, those classics like that. Like, it's hit and miss for me, man, because the graphics have to be upheld. Like, that's the beautiful thing about Nintendo titles. Like, they look like you can go back and play Mario Sunshine right now, and it would still just be as pleasant as it was when you played it on your GameCube.
It's on the Switch?
Sunshine was not that good, okay?
But I mean,
Sunshine was a national treasure. You take that back.
Yeah, national treasure fart.
I think, like, I had somebody talking about, like, going back and playing Max Payne. Like, they bought it. And he was like, I was so excited. And then he got it, like, on PS4, you know, the PS2 to PS4. And he was talking about he couldn't even get through the first level because of just how it looked. Like, and I was like,
some games don't age well at all.
Nah.
Yeah. No.
And I think it's when they try to, back then, you know, games try to be quote unquote realistic.
Yeah.
And when they try to get that realistic look, well, now we're at that point where our graphics are better than like Toy Story on some parts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those games
more
are
than
trying
that,
to get realistic. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
that used to be the appeal. Like, they used to compare.
Dude, no joke. I was looking at some of the Prince of Persia 2 and 3's cinematics. Oh my gosh, we have graphics today better than that.
Better than CGI, yeah.
Like, and that was like supposed to be the peak of what Ubisoft was able to do. That was a Ubisoft cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
Well, back
cinematic
when,
trailers are amazing.
What was it? PS2 was coming out. That was like the thing. Like, they were like, will we ever achieve graphics as good as Toy Story 1? And it's like, dude, we are past that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not even the best looking games we play at the moment. You know what I'm saying? We're almost. I feel like we're at points to where you remember that Final Fantasy movie came out. And everybody's like, man, I can't wait to games look like this. Like, I feel like we're closer, or if not surpassed that on some aspects. But
yeah, last weekend I recorded some footage with my Elgato. So I plugged my Dreamcast through my receiver and everything and got it all recorded. And I was playing Shenmue on the Dreamcast. My God, man, I can only stand like 5 minutes of it before I say,
what have I done?
Yeah, sometimes it's just better left alone. And I get the Xbox has a whole backwards compatibility with all the OG games and stuff. And it's a great novelty, but come on. I mean, I don't care if it's, it's like that was a different time. That was a different era. I enjoy Gran Turismo 1 through, 6. I really do. But I'm not a backwards guy. Once I've played it, I've beat it, I leave it in my time capsule of life, and it's only for discussions. It's not for me to revisit it and play it, because it's just, I don't know. I'll look forward to the new stuff, not the old stuff.
I go back to play Manhunt occasionally, and the only thing, like the graphics, nobody has fingers and stuff, but
the hands,
the hands, dude. Rockstar used to make the ugliest games, man. Like, let's just be real. Like, Grand Theft Auto 3 was ugly.
That's true, but it wasn't even about that, though. It was about the gameplay.
Right, and now they make the most best looking games possible for the experience that you're getting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Their tech, the tech that they use, just stuff that they're able to do is pretty impressive. But I mean, like when I go to play Manhunt, like I can't get over the garbage controls. Like, geez, man, games you control horribly back then. And to think, I used to be good at that game. I'm like, how many thumbs did I have? Like, did I lose some along the way? Like, geez.
Do you guys remember what's Nintendo 64? The James Bond game. What was the name? It's
GoldenEye?
Yeah,
GoldenEye. That game was the best game ever back then. Yeah. And I played it as well recently, and I'm like, my eyes are bleeding.
Don't do
God, how do I make it? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Maybe if you take those games and put it on an iPhone or maybe even the Switch, maybe it would be a better fit. But on
if they just took KOTOR's on the iPhone,
if they just took GoldenEye multiplayer, put a new fresh coating on it, and put it on the Switch, I'd buy it because that multiplayer was so much fun back in the day.
If they just put it on and don't let anybody pick Odd Job, and then that game will be the best game ever.
Mm-hmm.
You can only pick Odd Job if we all play Big Head mode.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. See, that was the thing. Like I the Odd Job, the Odd Job cheese. Back in the day, I only had that happen to me one time because back then I didn't have a PlayStation or anything like that. Back during those days, I didn't have really anything.
Ow.
So it was I only happened to me one time, and I said, "This is bullshit." I was like, "I'm not doing this." So I was like, "I'm not dealing with this." So I walked out one time and never had to deal with it again. So
no, we're talking about the compatibility, backwards compatibility. I think it's cool what Microsoft's doing. I mean,
yeah. Ninja Gaiden Black looks good.
Yeah, I mean, having that option to play the games is always welcome.
Yeah, I think it's the selection. Like Crimson Skies, like me and this guy, I talk with him on Twitter occasionally. I can't remember his name. I think it's Jez, but it's not that Jez. But anyways, he's really cool. He's an Xbox guy. He likes Xbox a lot. But he was talking about he was trying to play Crimson Skies and they don't even have multiplayer features, and I was like, man, that's such a bummer, man, because playing MechAssault, that was what I was looking forward to, is being able to play online with other people playing MechAssault again.
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah, the reason for that. Yeah, the reason was that because they took down OG Xbox Live. They took it down.
Yeah, but I mean,
they took it down a couple years ago.
They revamped these.
Just
games.
A couple years ago.
Well, yeah, I remember just a few years ago they made the announcement they were getting out of it, but I don't remember how far long ago exactly. But it was a while ago. They took it down.
Well, they revamped these games, and you're thinking, the whole point of that nostalgia, that's what made Xbox popular back then, was Xbox Live, playing online with your friends, and the whole thing is you put in Crimson Skies. Crimson Skies is fun, single player, but man, doing those dog fights online when you used to play multiplayer, that was so much fun, man. And fighting other mechs on MechAssault, with teams 4-on-4, or I think it was 4-on-4. Anyways, it was a lot of fun, and I hope that's something that they can go back and add. Because I feel like that's a missed opportunity if they're, because what's the point if you got this game, and what does that say about these games that are multiplayer, that you won't be able to experience the multiplayer anymore? There are OG games like that, but I don't know. I think it's cool. I want to go back and play Ninja Gaiden. I remember when that game was shown, and I was just like, oh my gosh, graphics are insane. Oh, I got all King of the Hill on there. Oh my goodness, Bobby.
Cut his head off.
Yeah. When they showed the teacher with the nunchucks, and I was like, I can't believe graphics have achieved this, I tell you what. And I was just totally blown away. But,
Damn it, Bobby.
That's a spot-on impression, dude.
Yeah. What? Do the Bobby again.
Hey, Dad. When I grow up, I'm gonna play Xbox too.
Anchorman sounds just like him, man. Does he not sound just like Bobby?
Just like Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That don't sound like Bobby, man. Yeah. Boomhauer.
I can't do any other one. One of my favorite quotes is the guy Bill. who lives
Bill
across the street.
Dotrey.
I love this show. Yeah, I love this show, by the way. But he says, I'm so depressed I can't blink. So whenever my kids are driving me crazy, I'll just look at them and I'll say, I'm so depressed I can't blink. I tell you what. Like, I love that line. But sorry.
Oh, God. You guys
Sorry.
are killing me.
Well, one show I wanted to have Craven do a voice and pretend he's a developer. That never happened. So, because he can do a bunch of different voices. Like, where's your Southern Democrat voice?
My Southern Democrat?
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
you've done it, man. I promise you.
I know. I'm pretty sure I have.
Like a Colonel Sanders type voice. That's the thing that kind of, you know.
Oh man, you know what gets me is how they do them on demand, man. I can't think to how they sound. Like if I do a voice, I feel like people are like, "Dance, monkey, dance," you know, and I'm just like, "Oh snap, let me get to it," and I just can't think of it fast enough.
What about your gaming nerd?
My what now?
Your gaming nerd you did earlier. Hey guys.
Oh, hey, just getting some games on.
That's when me and my friend I play with a guy named Chase. His name's Mad Hatter on PlayStation. We were BFFs. We met on Destiny. And I know this is off topic, and I know we can get back on topic actually. So I just want to say,
Do we need to be worried about your relationship with your wife?
no. But he's this guy that we met on Destiny. Look, let me tell you how I am. I'm a very unsociable social person. Okay, so we met on Destiny. I helped him out on Destiny. Then I started ghosting him. All right, because I don't know how to talk to new people. Like I'm not very, hey guys, let's be friends. I don't know how to do that. I'm just socially awkward. So I ghosted him. So even 2 years later, he still remembers me ghosting him, and he brings it up every so often, like a jealous girlfriend, you know. But we still play Destiny to this day, which is crazy. And we met on Destiny.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
It's always about Destiny with you, isn't it?
Destiny got me into, I don't know, like it gave me that experience of playing World of Warcraft. Or back in the day, I used to be real big into Gears of War and World of Warcraft and stuff. And I haven't felt a game give me that experience until I played Destiny. Like that, I don't know, that grind feel, and I like that. You know, like when you play World of Warcraft, you see somebody with some cool armor or something, you're just like, oh my gosh, you know, how do I get that? And then it's some rare 1% drop from some boss, and you're like, I got to do it. You know, Destiny has that kind of feel to it, you know, but it's more casual.
Yeah.
Because you have Destiny, Kratos has GT, and Anchorman, all about Fallout. Well, I liked Horizon, but it wasn't as good as Fallout 4. I like
straight up ripped off Fallout. I'm not going to get into that today.
Whoa.
I like Snake Pass, but it's not as good as Fallout 4. You know.
Yeah, Snake Pass is Game of the Year material, man. Don't be talking down on Snake Pass.
I think it's only $10 on the Switch right now. I might buy it this weekend. We'll see.
You better pick that up, man.
Switch have achievements yet or trophies?
No.
Oh, Nintendo could they're the only company that could sell you a game, and then when you go to press start on the game, they ask you for another $5 just to play it, and everybody would kind of make excuses of why it's okay to pay that $5, even though you just paid $60 for the game.
Why not?
Can't lie. That's true.
It's like, I just bought the new Mario. Oh, I can't wait to get home. You boot it up, and then it comes up, and Mario Odyssey comes up. It says, press start. You press start, and it says, sorry, bro. You need to put $5 on to press start. Oh, all right, Nintendo. It's no big deal. Come on, man. Nintendo's the only company that could do that.
That's true.
Hey,
have you played Zelda?
I haven't. Dude, I'm going to get a Switch. I got burned with the Wii U. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of.
We all did.
I got burned.
Give him a break. That makes sense.
So, I feel like maybe I'll wait till Smash Brothers gets announced.
Yeah,
and
Smash.
jump on that.
That's the game. That's the game I'm waiting for.
I want a Smash Brothers bundle. I want maybe a Powerball looking Switch or something. And that was called the Powerball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it's that or lottery. It's something, right? So.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure Mario Friday's gonna sell a whole bunch of Switches.
That bundle
Mario
is
Party. When's Mario Party coming?
Mario Party, yeah.
I mean, we all know, man. Mario is going to be the game of the year, and it's going to clean house. You know, this year. We probably had more hits than ever.
2017 is loaded.
Yeah, this was the golden age, the golden year of gaming.
Every 10 years, man.
Yep.
That 2007, 2017. Hey,
that's
man.
true. And Nintendo just gonna come in, clean house. You know, they come in, release a game at the end of the year, and clean house, and then all is forgotten.
Yeah, well, you know what it is to me. I feel like gaming gets kind of stale, man. Like, you know, we play games all the time. You know, it's only so many times I can play the same type of game throughout the years. You know, with a new paint. And Nintendo always, you know, you, as much as we dislike some of the stuff they do, like they always try something new, which is that, you know, the Wii. Even though it was so casual and it appealed to the casual market, and they said, "Hey, old ladies like it, so let's just cater to them," you know. Yeah. And that's what they did, and they made a killing, you know. And
I mean, you can fault them for doing that, but at the end of the day, to tell you the truth, Nintendo is the only one that are willing to go out of the gaming box and give you something different, whether it works or not.
Yeah.
That's something Microsoft would never do. They would never go step out the box. Sony will halfway step out the box. Sony will halfway do it. They'll halfway step out the box. But they won't go. They won't go full throttle. You know.
Well, you know, the time Microsoft tried to step out of the box was, you know, E3 2013, but
we told them to get back in that box. Get back in that box.
I don't think that was.
In general, though, I agree with you. Microsoft will play it. That thing will be safe.
Yeah. But the change that Microsoft was trying to make was all financially based. It wasn't, this is great for the gamers. It was, hey guys, we're trying to make a killing with this, and this. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We can be here 20 years from now, guys. At the end of the day, gaming will always be about the games.
Yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
It sounds a little muffled.
We can't hear you again.
Oh, there's 7 layers of blankets.
Get your shoe off the mic.
Take the mask off.
Take the mask off, Bane.
It's his beard. He does that every time since he cut his beard.
Baby face Brah.
His baby face got on the mic.
What about now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we can hear you.
My computer throws up like Jay goes on this rant, and my computer just goes, eh. What the heck? Okay, about the baby face.
Yeah, what happened?
It's like, okay, no. I'll do like this hot take on a game. It's like 2 likes and one reply. Somebody will say something. Oh yeah, man, I agree. That picture, those 2 pictures I did, the comparison had 30 comments and over 5,000 impressions after all was said and done. I'm like, it's just a beard, people. What the hell?
No, it's not just a beard. Let me tell you, women tend to trick us into shaving our beards.
It wasn't my wife. I'm like, it's time to start over.
But you blamed it on me for it. You were like, oh, the wife made me do it. Like, oh, sure.
No. Mine, sometimes she likes my beard, but she'll try to say, hey, she won't even tell me to trim it anymore because I'll take it one step further and I'll shave it off. And I look like the guy from Hannibal after he got chewed up by the pigs. Like, I just have literally no face. I look like, and I'm like,
hey, guys.
I'm like, is this what you wanted? Is this what you want? Like, my voice changes.
Okay, bro.
But
everything about me changes.
Yeah, I can't, the way I walk, I just start doing everything different. But, like, when you shave your beard.
Playing Xbox more.
when you shave your beard, like, dude, my kids make fun of me, and that's how I know I can't shave my beard anymore.
You know it's bad when your kids are going savage on you.
My kid, and they said, "What happened to your face?" And they're laughing at me. The kids in class start laughing at me because I'm picking them up at school. And I was like, "All right, I'm never shaving again. Thanks."
Well, my wife, she read some article that said that beard gets stuff in it, and they're nasty and they're gross. And I'm like, that's all just poppycock. Okay, that's not true.
Yeah.
That's all propaganda by the razor companies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, man. It's a man tax. They want you to sell, they want you to buy those razors. It's not fair.
Speaking
it was getting too big. It was getting too big, and I didn't want to deal with it. But
yeah, whoever told you that,
it's going to come back, and I promise you, it's never going anywhere again. Because I guess it's a part of me. It's a part of the bra. It's part of the image.
Bro, you can't remove your arm and tell everybody it's okay. I just cut my arm off. Like, it doesn't work like that. You know, you got a beard, man. I seen guys beg to grow a beard, and we can grow one. Some guys can't even grow one. They look like they look like they're from Team America, and they found that hair and they just patched it all on their face.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm sorry I disappointed you guys. I didn't mean to.
Sorry, just
you failed the city,
bro.
I hope that you can still acknowledge me and follow me on Twitter and interact with me from time to time. Don't forget about me, please. I love doing all this too much.
Are we going to talk about the I didn't know if we were going to do it this podcast or the next one, and I didn't want to forget the Capcom stuff.
Yeah, that's some of the new news.
Yeah, well, I forgot about it. Like, I didn't know if it was real or not.
They financially, somebody can buy them.
Where's that news at though? I couldn't find it anywhere.
It's been all over.
Wall Street Journal.
So they did post an article then, right?
Yeah. It's been multiple articles. It's been all over the internet.
What I read was the Wall Street Journal was preparing an article, and I went searching for it, and I couldn't find the damn article. I'm like, so. Legit? Okay.
How does someone like Capcom? I mean, look at all the franchises they have. How did they go to a point where they're like, let's sell everything off, guys? Everything must go.
No, it's not.
Man,
it's not.
There's been signs of desperations for years. Like, look what happened with Street Fighter V. Look at like all these little exclusive deals they're willing to do for anybody.
Yeah.
They're turning tricks for cheap.
Atari will have an exclusive Street Fighter game.
Sorry.
I'm waiting for the next Nintendo Switch one. A Switch exclusive.
I mean, guys, can you think about that? Like, if anybody bought them, think about the franchises, man. You got Devil May Cry. You got Beautiful Joe.
Please bring back Beautiful Joe.
No, right.
I mean, but that's just, you got Street Fighter. I mean, Street Fighter is iconic in video games. I mean, I just couldn't imagine. Honestly, it kind of makes me upset because I can't imagine a world without Capcom. Like, that's like what I grown up on. You know, going skating and going to the arcade and playing Street Fighter 2, putting your quarter on the arcade. You know, because you're next. You know,
I'm next, bro.
Yeah. You know, and these kids nowadays, you know, man, they don't understand that, man. That was like how video games. I mean, it was just fun, man, and. That'd be like Nintendo closing doors, you know?
Oh, Nintendo closing doors, that's a whole other deal.
Yeah,
Nintendo
closes doors, the industry's in a bad shape.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think here's the thing, okay. We like Capcom for their IPs. We could care less about the company itself. As long as those games still go on, I mean, they have so many IPs that we grew up with, like Mega Man and stuff like that. Having another company to buy them out, a company like Nintendo or Sony or something like that, they could give us what we really want. They could make a decent, you know. I mean, just think of with the licenses they have with the Street Fighter characters, the Marvel, the DC. I mean, just all of the stuff that they've done in the past. Bringing some of that stuff current. I mean, they could. There's a lot of.
Who would you want to buy them, Kratos?
I would like Nintendo to buy them, but the most logical choice will be Sony, and only because they're a Japanese company, and then on top of that, Sony, they care about gaming. They care about investing in gaming and in studios, so they can do, excuse me, they could do right by the company. They're not going to take it and make a game and it flops and then they sell the whole company off again. They won't do that. So they have legs and longevity to be able to do that. Nintendo, I mean, they have so many IPs of their own that they need to release. So I'll see them kind of shelving it as well, sticking it to the side. But Microsoft, I don't think they're going to do it because they had the opportunity to buy.
Microsoft doesn't need what they have.
Yeah, that's not the market.
That's what scares me. Is like,
but what is Microsoft market right now? They need any and everything they can take, but they're not taking it. They could have bought.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
The thing with Capcom is that, like you said it before, they have all these IPs, but no one really gives a damn about their studios. Like they're just kind of pumping out shovelware. The quality's just not there. If anybody really cares about anymore, that has not been tarnished is what, Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
and that's coming out next year.
Yeah,
but it's the thing in particular I'd see is that with Microsoft, they don't really need any more IPs per se. They have plenty of stuff in the vault they could bring out and redo. There's a lot of stuff in there that they have access to, but at the same time, need are just a dedicated studio to make these games, so just somebody else. And so buying Capcom, no one's going to care about the studio. Studio is getting scrapped, so they don't have anything to offer. But I think with you're right though. I think Nintendo is probably the best one to profit off of it, because they have those more mature titles, and that also, like I said, it is another Japanese company, and they do have that kind of relationship with Capcom over the years. I think it becomes something kind of similar to like what happened with Sega, where it's a little more like a second party kind of vibe to it, more like coming more of their third party outreach program, where they put some of those games, like they use the Capcom branch to put out games in other systems, make a little money off the Xbox and the PlayStation on the side, but also show more love to the Switch than usual. So, I think that it would benefit Nintendo a lot more than anybody else.
Yeah, I think whoever buys them would. Like you said, the studio's like nobody cares about. I know it sounds horrible, but just bear with me, okay? Nobody cares about Capcom Studios. Yeah, nobody says, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe, this studio's awesome." It's not like Naughty Dog or 343. Yeah, 343. It's not like
343 is enough.
Yeah, it's not like that, or Bungie, but it's the IPs, man. Like that's like gold, man, because they've been around for so long. They're already established. Like,
even if you bought Capcom, would you get the IPs also, or is it kind of like a separate?
We're talking THQ buyout. You get the whole thing.
Well, somebody was saying about someone buying Capcom Studio, but then they could sell the IPs separately.
No, if you
could,
here's the thing: they're in such bad shape, that even if they sold one or two or maybe 5 of their IP, characters or whatever, it's not enough to save the company. So it's kind of like, hey, you take this whole package, I'm going to be done, pay the investors off, and we just walk away from this.
Dude.
Right.
If you had all those IPs though, that's legit gold. Mega Man, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter,
dude. Like
Dino Crisis.
That makes me sad, man, because Resident Evil. When I think of Capcom, I don't even think Street Fighter as much anymore. Like, I'm not big into Street Fighter like it used to, but it has a special place with me. But like Monster Hunter, I love that series, and Resident Evil. Like, I mean, Capcom hasn't done Resident Evil justice since 4, but they did with 7.
Yeah, they did with 7, yeah.
And like 7, I was thinking, okay, every Resident Evil needs to be like this. And every time they do a Resident Evil, like, Resident Evil 7 feels like Resident Evil 7 eventually. I mean, feels like a Resident Evil game made by Capcom eventually through the game.
Resident Evil 7 feels like Resident Evil 7.
No,
Like, okay.
but I mean, like when we're talking about I a little bit of me would really want Microsoft to buy them, but it scares me because I see how they do franchises. That would be perfect for them because they would close the studios anyway, and they would just keep the IPs. But then I'm thinking, I wonder if they would even use the IPs. You know, they're trying to build in the Japanese market. Like Devil May Cry is a non-Japanese. Monster Hunter is huge in Japan.
Yeah, but see, it still takes. You still need to have the people and the talent to build something out of the IP. Just because you have an idea and the characters and a license for it, you still needed people to do the work. And I just don't think that. I mean, because Microsoft would be standing over them every day. Hey, hurry up, push this out. We got to get it. And because we've heard other studios and other people say that about Microsoft.
Yeah, I wonder if they change, man.
I personally think Microsoft needs studios like when Hitman Studio, I think was it Ideos or whatever studios or whatever, when they were up for sale for it was like a fire sale. It was like $1 million or something like that. That would have been so easy for them to just shell out the money and get that. And they could say, hey, look, guys, we got the. But here's the thing. I just don't think that they want to be tied to studios or anything physical. They just want to be able to spend a little money, get an IP or two to sell. And then they don't want to be stuck with a bunch of studios and a lot of buildings and a lot of people. They're not. I honestly don't think they're in it for the long haul. Whereas Sony and Nintendo, this is their bread and butter. The whole company thrives. It either rises or it falls based on video games. So they will always have to invest in new IP and new studios and stuff, whereas Microsoft don't have to. Obviously, I mean, they got this $500 box coming out that is basically a multiplayer box, a multi-plat box. So why would they invest in anything?
Yeah, it's just it's something where I hear Phil Spencer, I think he's a cool guy, man. Other people that have had that seat throughout the years since OG Xbox, he's been more real about how he feels about games and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Shu, for example, from Sony. He's we were talking last time, he's such a cool guy, man. You never hear bad stuff said about him, or he's a gamer, he likes gaming and he likes the games that he likes, and Phil Spencer, he likes gaming, I mean, but he feels like PC market's where it's at and he wants Xbox to have a part in that, you know what I'm saying, which that's where he's taking it, and I mean, so be it, and it's working for him, I mean, for the most part. I mean, having that play anywhere. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's just their Windows 10 store sucks.
That's how I'm playing Cuphead.
Dude, I haven't played it yet.
Version.
I want it so bad.
Dude, I've been pacing myself. Yeah. I gotta pace myself because I'm trying to enjoy every little bit of artistic measure and the cartoon ability. Oh my gosh, it's just good, amazing. It's good. I do one boss a night, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying not to push it any farther than that.
Have you guys played The Binding of Isaac? About the little fetus?
No.
I have it on
my son started playing. I'm like, what the hell is this game about? And I started researching it. I'm like, wait, this is a mature game. Delete.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So you're like a little fetus. Your mom don't want you.
Poop monster.
Dude, you fight a poo monster. You fight a aborted baby. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Yeah. But
I had no idea it was about that. But I said, graphics look a little odd, but
it's pretty dark. Yeah. But that game is hard as crap, man. And it kind of those kind of games are really fun, kind of like Super Meat Boy, are really fun.
No, Cuphead difficulty and Binding of Isaac difficulty. They're two different things. I can tell you right now.
Oh my gosh! I'll have
but don't get me wrong, okay? I'm a patient gamer, but the thing with Cuphead is, I'll die 5-10 times, But then I'm like, okay, this time I won't do that. I'll try this. It makes you want to keep trying instead of just getting rage quitting and turning the game off. It makes you want to keep. Okay,
and that's a sign of good game design.
Yeah, man. I love playing it. I need to get back to it. I might do that till the show's over, but it really makes you want to do better and be a better gamer to get to that next stage. Yeah, I mean, you should check it out. Definitely check it out, dude.
No, I plan on buying it. I think I'm gonna buy it this week. I'm buying a bunch of games this week. This is my time to buy.
Wah.
I think the big thing about that one in particular is just that particular game. Games like Dark Souls and stuff. I hate those kinds of games, mainly because it's the control scheme that makes you I feels like I'm fighting the game's core mechanics. Not I'm fighting the boss. I'm fighting the core mechanics of the game, and I can't stand that because it's not fun to me. It makes it unnecessarily difficult. But like Cuphead, all the controls are tight. You can't get mad at how the game's designed. You're only mad at yourself for failing, for not being able to excel.
Why didn't I duck? Or why didn't I, jump over this? Or
but our Dark Souls death is why is the jump button all the way over here? Why is this why is this designed this way?
It took him 3 years to make Cuphead.
About 3-4 years, yeah.
It was worth it. All the sweat and the tears, the hard work. It's one of the best.
I would have paid 30.
Yeah, it's one of the best games I've played this year. I haven't beat it yet, but it's just that good of a game. I was genuinely surprised.
Let me ask you this: Is it a possibility that this game will ever come to the Switch, or
I wish it could,
the phone or something? Because
it is built for Switch.
That's what I'm saying.
It is.
It's built for a mobile game. I mean, even playing it on PC, I was like, it just didn't feel right. It would be perfect for a handheld.
Is it Xbox exclusive console wise or what?
Yes, currently, yeah.
Because someone showed me a screenshot that said console launch exclusive.
Nah, that was not real.
Okay, but then someone else sent me articles talking about the developers saying, "Hey, it's Xbox only."
Yeah. Well, they're two people. They're really small, so I honestly I can't imagine. Well, yeah, I can't imagine.
Well, it's not only two people. I've met.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
They're
they're super small, man. Super small.
They are.
They're
very
having
small.
To mortgage their home to pay for this. That's small studio. So it's so I don't know, man. I thought Microsoft paid for a large portion of that. But then they did the same thing with Dead Rising. So
they didn't publish it though. They published it. Studio, MDHR?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
is that right?
The publishing thing is more of an internal thing. Yeah, it's hard to. It's too hard to get into, at least for this one. But it was more like you get more of a cut of your publishers, so it makes sense on their end.
I'm sure Microsoft gave money to help with it, right? With the game. And people were like, hey, well,
they did.
Okay. They probably needed it too, because I thought the game looked amazing from the first time I saw it, because the art style. But all that time they put into making it, all that hand drawn animation, whew, I couldn't imagine, man. My hand's already cramping.
So I'm wondering how much money did Microsoft really give these guys if it was just a really small studio and it took them 4 years to do a game like this?
They were making it as a boss rush game.
When I talked to the studio there, they were saying that when they initially put out the game, they wanted it to be just a boss rush game.
Yeah, and
but people were so into it and they were loving it that they wanted to add run and gun levels like they originally planned on it. But after a while, because originally they wanted to do run and gun levels, but budget was a issue, and so it was we don't really want to, we can't afford this. And Microsoft jumped on board, and so they took the extra year or so off to go and make these, and so they wouldn't have the run and gun levels like they originally wanted, and the game's that much better for it.
Oh, so, definitely, yeah. No. Do you have it, Kratos?
I do, sir.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you did or not, but Kraven, you definitely need to check it out.
I am, man. Like I'll be mad. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be mad if I buy it and then it comes out on PlayStation in March or something. I'm gonna be ticked off because like I that's not a game. I mean, I want to support. Yeah, I want to support the studio, but it's $20, man. I buy like indie games like all the time, so like
I buy it twice.
Yeah,
I buy it. If it comes out on PlayStation or Switch, I'm there.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I mean, like I want it to be like if it's exclusive, I want it to be like okay, I'm buying this on this, you know.
The $1 million question: will there be a sequel?
Will there be a sequel? I don't know. For the studio or to the game exactly?
Basically, you know how like with the Xbox, there's really like no sequels, right? So I'm just wondering. I know this game is by far success of what they thought it was going to do, but was it successful enough for Microsoft to invest in it again?
Well, what did they sell on Xbox?
No one said anything yet.
I mean, it sold more on PC, but still, I mean, it doesn't matter.
From what I've seen, at least based on what I was seeing there, at least on PC and such, I was seeing that like they said that it just passing the 500,000 mark. I remember seeing that, and then like a day later, they announced they sold 1 million copies.
Damn, man, that's awesome for them.
So I think it's about 50-50 right now.
That's awesome.
I want to say, I don't know. It could have gone way out of proportion after that, but that was the last thing I saw.
I'm happy for the team because I mean, like you said, all that hard work they put into it paid off, and gamers love it. I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy, and my most viewed video the past 3 weeks is my Cuphead 10-minute trailer. 10-minute video I uploaded has almost 300 views. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, people want to know about this game.
Maybe it's a sign for you to join the Xbox.
I am getting one. It's just waiting for the perfect time. So I got
wait for while the metal is hot. You gotta strike.
I mean, I have nothing against Xbox. It's not like I'm. Oh no, I'll never buy an Xbox. I had 2 original Xboxes that had 3 360s, so it's not like I hate them. You know, screw you, Microsoft. No, it's just. Right now, I mean, I got my PS4 and the Switch is the second kid. You know, it's like, oh hey, you're there.
Oh, dude, I'm screwed right now. I got all 3.
That's awesome,
dude, if you told me at the beginning of this year I was gonna have all 3 consoles, I would tell you were crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, I had no intention of picking up any of these. But I'm just
it's hard not to. I mean, the PS4 had so many big games this year.
Exactly.
And then Nintendo comes along and they're like, we're going to drop like 8 exclusives in the first 6 months of our console being out. And you're like, what?
Dude, I'm totally screwed, man. I mean, as an Xbox guy who is fairly new on the PlayStation scene, I'm like, what, 6 months old? So maybe almost 9 months old.
Yeah.
So,
you've done a good job.
I've been playing through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things I noticed is the games I thought I was going to like on PlayStation, I didn't. And the games I thought I was going to hate, I ended up loving a lot.
Mr. Order 1886.
Which was really weird.
Demand of 6.
Yeah, the Order 1886.
Yeah.
So good.
Dude, I swear, that game's got potential.
Dude,
that can go somewhere. Yeah, it was an iffy start, but it was good. I get why people were pissed. I understand why people were pissed. They spent $60 for it.
8 hours.
I get it. But I spent $8 for it. So.
I pre-ordered it.
You won.
And I played it day one. But then I played it for like an hour. And then I said, and I put it up for a year. And then I went back and played it. But it was so good. I'm glad I did.
Yeah. So I played every Uncharted game, every console game at least.
I'll give it to you. You went and played the games that you should play on the PS4. So
yeah, I've been watching. I remember when you first got it, I was like, "What?" I was like, "Let's see how this is going to pan out." But that's why when you review stuff and give your opinion, I really take it seriously because there's no fanboying there. You're just giving me your honest opinion, and that's what I want to hear. It's like, what is a Xbox guy's perception of this game or that game or whatever? And I guess there's no right or wrong answer to that.
Nah, it's fun. I've enjoyed my PlayStation. I enjoyed what I got out of it. Right now, I'm kind of at a crossroads, honestly, because I finished a bunch of these games and just like, I'm not playing this. I know I know what I like and I know what I don't like. I'm just not playing this.
Oh, Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, yeah. I just like, yeah, this is not that good. Straight up.
Well,
I wasn't feeling it.
You said you get like Dark Souls, right? So,
I mean, like, I played Dark Souls. My issue with Dark Souls is the control scheme was just garbage. And so I felt like I was fighting the game more than I was actually playing the game. I was fighting the bosses. So,
everyone has their own favorite type of games and stuff like that. Like, I talked to Rand, and some games he played, exact same thing. I mean, some things are what's good for me may not be good for you, and stuff like that.
Like, I love Horizon, but Anchor thinks it's a pile of trash. So he's so wrong.
No, I will admit I was trolling the crap out of people on Twitter.
Yeah. Dude, there's sometimes you'll say something, I'm like, I know he's just trolling. He has to be right.
I'm trolling a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn is really just this mediocre game, and the only reasons anybody really thinks it's really good is because, one, it's exclusive, and two, it came from Guerrilla Games, which nobody expected for them to make a semi-decent open world game.
Blasphemy! Eject him now. Kick him out.
Yeah, bye.
But what did you think? But what did you think of Quantum Break?
It was okay, I guess. I wasn't feeling that one either. So
man,
I was all aboard the Quantum Break hype train. I was sold. That was actually, that game and Sunset Overdrive were like the two big exclusive things from Microsoft, which was like, okay, getting the Xbox One is going to be dope. Like, my number one reason for getting the Xbox One was playing with friends. I had more friends that were on Xbox, so I was like, all right, I'll play over here. But it was just, the second one was like, okay, Sunset Overdrive looks dope. I'm in. And Rise was okay, but it wasn't my main reason. But Quantum Break looked amazing to me. I was like, this is great. I want to play this.
Were you like everyone else
over time?
When Scalebound got canceled, were you disappointed? Was that a game you were looking forward to?
It's hard to explain with that one because I was just like, this is cool conceptually, but I'm not feeling it yet. So it was like, okay. And I think at first, like I said before, I met Kamaya, and I talked for him for a little bit with me and Cal, but it was just, I don't know. I felt like Scalebound was kind of all over the place. Like, I thought, like, the first trailer they showed, I was cool with it. I was down. I was like, okay, this guy wearing the beats doing his own thing. Like, okay, all right. Like, little dragon story. This will be fun. And then the E3 2016 trailer with all the other ones, and I was like, you couldn't at least, like, make your own character. You have to be an alternate version of yourself. Like, this doesn't feel right. It didn't feel good. And so I wasn't feeling that one in particular. So when it got canceled, I was like, okay, this isn't. Yeah.
I think that game being canceled often for the OG Xbox. It was because even guys on the PlayStation side was hyped up for that. I'm not gonna lie, that game was.
I like Platinum Games, so I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet, actually.
Come on, Dragons. Then you got a guy, obviously with beat headphones and being able to. I mean,
that was kind of lame.
It just, yeah, but I mean, it was just that type of game.
It was different. It had an identity.
And that's one thing I don't understand about Microsoft. They spend so many millions of dollars on years and years developing a game, and then they just flat out cancel it. At least you could have got a mediocre game out of it. At least you have something to show for it.
Man, what if they did it in episodes? I mean, they could at least probably cash in with that, right? I mean, I don't know how game development, but I mean, they could have done something with that.
They ended up going with the service model anyway.
Right.
Here's the thing that told me this is not the only part of the story here. Okay, if you guys follow Kamaya is notorious for being an absolute savage on Twitter.
Yeah.
He will block you for the most random stuff.
Block you. Yeah, he blocked Phil Spencer.
He blocked Phil Spencer. Eventually, unblocked him.
Yeah, blocked him, but I mean, yeah, you'll ask him a question. Are you stupid? Blocked. Damn, dude.
Yeah, he is the most savage person. The savage person on Twitter. In person, no, not really, but his Twitter personality is insane. So the thing with Kamaya, but like he has always been outspoken. He will if something happens, he will let you know something's going down.
Yeah.
But the thing that told me something's going on here was when Scalebound got canceled, Kamaya apologized. He was humble. He was down to earth. He didn't blame Microsoft for anything. He didn't say anything about anyone. And to this day, he hasn't said anything about it. And that's what's interesting to me.
That the company could have went out of business because of Scalebound. And if Sony wouldn't have helped them with the game that they came out with, was it Neo?
No, yeah.
Near.
Yeah. Near.
If it wasn't for that, bringing that life back, I mean, I don't know, man.
Like, and I've heard rumors of what's going on from people that I consider credible and others not so credible. That there was a lot of money things going on. Like, I think if you really sit back and say Platinum Games released 4 bombs in a row, and they didn't go out of business.
Yeah.
Like that's questionable. But
I know we had,
but to somehow we canceled it. What's up?
Like, people went back on his timeline, and he had some tweets that were kind of like, "You want us to have this done by this time? Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
There was tweets that he kind of dropped hints that something was wrong. I remember that somebody went back and compiled them all, and then all of a sudden they canceled. You're like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
It's that notorious saying from the developers in the community is that Microsoft wants you to deliver something quickly, no matter what the quality is. They want you to deliver it, and you're like, I don't just want to put any crap out there. And Microsoft is the kind of company that stands over you and critiques and do this and do that. And
do you think they're still like that?
Yeah, Microsoft.
Why wouldn't they be? Nothing has changed. Why wouldn't?
What I'm saying is with Phil Spencer, like I know he's been in position, but not the position he was at. Like, did you hear like he proposed to Matrix about buying Minecraft, Major or whatever, and then they was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then they later paid like a huge amount.
Was it $1 billion?
It was like $2 billion.
$2 billion.
Yeah. And if he could have got it for way cheaper when he wanted to buy them, but Don Matrix wouldn't do it. The Don wouldn't do it. But do you think? Well, I guess the thing is, what I'm asking is like, do you think with Phil Spencer there? Because even back in the OG Xbox days, they talked about Microsoft. Even with Bungie, that's the reason Bungie wanted to break out from underneath them. How they wanted to micromanage, like even the name of Halo. You remember, like talking about they thought Halo was a stupid name and they wanted it to be called something else. And so they said, well, if you call it Halo, you have to put Combat Evolved on it, And it's like stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think they still do stuff like that? I'm
pretty sure they do. I mean,
I'm not sure that intrusive anymore, but yeah, I'm sure they have like they micromanage certain things.
Well, who was that company? The Chinese Room? Is that who made everyone's
Candle?
Do what?
Oh no, he's a Chinese Room. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Candle game.
No, it was that game. Everyone's Gone to Rapture.
Yeah, everyone's going to the Rapture.
Even
Everyone changed the review score for when they found out you could actually sprint.
Yep.
That's what I remember.
they've gone black, or they've gone dark. I'm sorry. They closed the studio down for the time being, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do next. And rumor has it that they had problems with Sony with Everyone's Gone to Rapture. Like they were pushing to get the game out sooner, and they were really breathing down their neck and telling them what they wanted. So I mean, it happens. It happens everywhere. I mean, you know, every company has a few bad apples, or they all need to make money.
Well, you just wonder, like, where, you know, like you don't hear a lot from it. I guess on Sony's side, like from a lot of different developers, you heard about it, like on Microsoft's, like even like Lionhead devs, you know, like on Twitter. Like I've seen some stuff like they would make little remarks here and there. But you don't hear necessarily about that much, you know. Like typically, you hear about Sony allows them to do as much time as needed. I mean, but I know everything has a deadline. You can't just be wide open with that. It's a business, you know.
Look at.
I'll tell you something in a minute.
GT Sport. Go ahead. You
go your part. I'll do my thing after you. Sorry.
I was just saying. Look at GT Sport. Look at The Last Guardian. Look at Dreams. Look at. I mean, Sony has games that have been baking for eons. Look at Kojima. They gave him his own studio. They say you can have whatever you want from our portfolio. Take your time, deliver it whenever. And their games are always turn out to be big blockbuster hits that sell a gazillion copies, and they are the benchmark standards. Like there is nothing on the Microsoft side that does that, and that's part of the problem when you compare the two. There is nothing memorable about Microsoft's IP outside of the typical Halo, Gears. Not even Forza is really that memorable where people, you know, it's just, and that's part of the problem. There's no longevity when it comes to in you know, to them with their developers and their studios and giving people sequel. They don't give you a chance to even warm up to the IP. Look at Quantum Break. I know it didn't sell good, but maybe after the second game come out, maybe you get to know that character. Maybe you get to fix that problem.
Oh man!
Look at and just to show you. I mean, what's been the biggest problem with a lot of the look at Horizon Zero Dawn. Mm-hmm. Guerrilla Games have been known. They made Killzone for over a decade. The game has always been good. It always got, you know, pretty decent reviews, but it never lived up to that quality because you never cared about the character. It never had a good storyline. Right. Well, these guys poached, you know, movie directors and writers and other people from other areas to fix that problem because they identified, hey, look, our studio has a problem. All our games, nobody cares about our characters. Our writing isn't good. So let me tackle that. And they did that. And look what you have out of that. You have Horizon Zero Dawn. So I just think Sony is willing to make investment in that and do what it takes to look. We got Knack 2 out of all games. Knack 2.
I believe Mark Cerny had something in his contract that said if they sold a certain amount of copies of Knack 1, that Knack 2 was insured. I don't believe that anyone actually greenlit Knack 2 out of their own free will.
But the mere fact that we got a Knack 2 before we got a Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, and all of those games, because I mean, I'd put all of those other games before Knack because Knack is just not my thing. But still,
hey, Knack 2 is pretty sweet. Damn you!
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not my type of game. So
yeah,
but go ahead.
Here's the thing: the second party relationship, and I'll relate to you one of the experiences that I've talked to a couple different studio heads and over the years, and for the most part, it's roughly the same. When you have a second party relationship, in a game, you say, like, let's say if you're talking to the publisher and you say, okay, here we got this idea for a game. Here's what we're making. Here's a little maybe like a vertical slice to kind of pitch it to you a little bit. Here's what we're working on. How long do you think it's going to take you to finish it? And they say, well, this much. It's like, okay, well, how much money do you need? And they say, oh, well, we're going to do a hypothetical scenario. Let's say, just for sake of easy division, we'll say $10 million. I need $10 million. We think it's going to take us 2 years. The publisher goes back and they say, okay, we think you can do this for $7 million, or you think you can do it a year and a half. Or they'll work out the time and they'll abate a little bit, and okay, you got 2 years, make the game. And for those 2 years, you are on a tight budget and schedule. You need to finish that game. Not only do you have to worry about, with that $10 million, you have to worry about not only enough money to finish the game on time, but if you have any delays, that goes out of your budget. You got to find out how to make up that time or make up for that money. Or, in the worst case scenario, you got to actually approach the publisher saying you got a delay. Or if, let's say, another case scenario, you finish early. You finish a game 6 months early. And the publisher is now asking you, okay, so the game's done. Why do you need this remaining 2.5 million? Why do you need this 2.5 million, a part of your budget? Why can't we release right now? Developer says, oh, we're polishing the game. The publisher's going to be like, polishing the game? We don't need that. This is the digital age. You release a patch afterwards. Yeah. like we put it out now, save us money. So what they'll do is most of the time is they'll say, okay, actually we are working on something. We're working on DLC.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And so you work on DLC when you finish the game early to justify the part of the budget going into it for the developer. So that'll happen a lot as well. But the thing in particular is when you have that agreed upon date, contract between you and the individual, and I think what happened in this case, because this arrangement for Scalebound was something that happened under the Matric era. This is one of those Matric deals. So this deal had been in effect for at least 3 years. At least 3 years, probably longer than that. And they had the delay. They had to push it back. They had to keep pushing. And after a certain time, the publisher is going to ask the question, is it worth it for us to keep dumping money in this if they are routinely breaking a promise to us? They say they can do it in this time, they couldn't do it. They said they could do it in this time, they couldn't do it. And so with Microsoft in particular, they look at everything as a business. If it's not making money, it's not worth their time. And so what they'll do is they'll see an opportunity, like you're seeing with backwards compatibility. This is an opportunity for them to sell old games without online multiplayer. So in some cases, taking out licensed soundtracks. They're selling you old games for $10 a pop. Games nobody was buying for $10 now.
Yeah, exactly.
The backwards 360 backwards compatibility, a stroke of genius. They fleeced you for 2 years, made you believe backwards compatibility wasn't coming. You sold off your physical discs. You got done. They saw an opportunity. Say, if we release this, this is going to make us money. Because all of a sudden, people who weren't playing Red Dead Redemption, people who want to play it now, who sold off their physical discs, want to have the opportunity to pay us $10 to $15 and get that game back. We can make some real money on this. Opportunity. And it's the same, that's their mentality. Anything they do, there's a direct link to making some extra cash. And in the case of Scalebound, I think they saw the situation and said, okay, these guys can't keep a date. They're going over budget. We're not getting anything out of it. We're going to pull the plug because it's not worth it. We don't know when they're going to finish. I think that's part of the situation too. That's Microsoft's mentality. And I think in Japan there's a different mindset when it comes to a hard set due date. They kind of turn it in when it's ready, and it's just kind of understood you're not going to be finishing anything on time, at least in terms of a project. But
hey.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my rant.
That makes sense. I mean, that's clear cut. And as much as I want Microsoft to be
like Sony and Nintendo, I just have finally come to the realization that that's not who they are anymore. They're not going to chase that avenue. They're not going to do it. And so we have to come to terms with what Microsoft is now as a company when it comes to the Xbox division and how it's going to be going forward. And I think, it's going to take some time. Right now, we're still in that shock phase. And once we realize, okay, this is a service company now and services come first, they're not going back to the days of past when they had all these huge IPs and studios and stuff like that. These guys are going to go for, like, just like you said, for the stuff that they think is a sure shot. And if you don't like that, then tough, but for those for those guys who care about the backwards compatibility, the services, and I said it early on Twitter today, Sony gives you the hardware, they give you the software, they give you everything except the services. Microsoft give you the services, but not the rest of the stuff. They don't give you the software. And that's just unfortunate. So, you're probably just going to have to buy both of them and use them for whatever the reason or the purpose that you see fit. Whether that's a long-term strategy and that's going to be successful for Microsoft within the next 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years, I don't know. It's different. We're in uncharted territory with Microsoft right now. And, I hope it works out for the best. I really do, especially with Nintendo coming back from that awful Wii U. Now they found their mojo and they're working towards it, and it's working for them, and they're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and making this platform successful. So I don't know.
Interesting.
So I'm sorry about dropping that info bomb on there. At least there's that. I was doing the reason I know about this in particular is because for a while I was up for a couple job opportunities at a couple of these smaller studios doing these kinds of deals, and so they had to fill me in at least on those particular info bits.
Mm-hmm. Man,
and also friends.
I'm down with that stuff. I like to learn behind the scenes of the industry just to understand gaming better. So when a game gets delayed, I'm not like, oh, those lazy son of a bitches are just sitting there.
No. Actually, a couple times, one of the guys I talked to, they said they were working for another publisher, and I'll tell you guys after the show who it is. But they it's actually very possible, especially with a small team, computers explode.
Whoa!
They can things catch on fire, and that's delayed time. You got to start over.
Well, remember No Man's Sky? There was a big downpour. Yeah, they flooded their damn studio.
Yeah, well, they were in a basement, so I'll give them.
Oh well, okay.
Maybe not been the smartest place to be, but
yeah. Well, they had Joe Danger before that, so I'm sure they probably didn't have that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, and there's the human element, man. We all have our days. You have those days where you're just like, man, I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah.
And you're just down and out. I mean, that could affect the whole studio. That could just, I can't get mad at a developer for delaying a game or having to change something because who knows what really happened.
Yeah.
As opposed to what they tell you happened. Oh, hey, it's a delay. Well, remember Drive Club? The original director left the game because his son had cancer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was another Age of the Insiders story where Pete died, called him a liar.
Yeah, and people, and people were like giving him hell, and he's like, "My son has." It was something crazy though, but.
No, they said he got internally fired from the studio because it was something about some scuffle or some total mess up answer, honestly, that was just silly. And the guys they had the composer for one of the composing companies that does a lot of video game stuff, or OSTs. That he said, no, that's not true. I don't know where you're getting that from, man. and the guy said, no, I know it's true. Who are you? I don't believe you. And so the guy was. And so eventually the guy had to jump on NeoGAF and say, no. Yeah, my kid has cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's messed up that people would attack him without knowing the true story behind it.
Come on now, you see some of these rabid fanboys, giving death threats to developers and over some of the most silliest things.
Naughty Dog dropped that PS4 Pro update a couple months back. Remember that? When it was more options, better shadows. And you go read the comments for that. People are like, quit giving us updates on a 4-year-old game and fucking finish the new game. I'm like, oh my God. How can you speak to someone like that? I mean, it was so toxic. And they're like, we don't want old crap. We want the new game. Get off your asses.
And then the new games come out. They don't even buy them.
Yeah.
Mom, new game came out. Get it for me now.
Well, and that goes back to, what I was saying about, me kind of pleading with some of with basically the Xbox community. And I'm like, guys, I get it. You guys are, on Twitter and YouTube making videos and talking about Sony and Nintendo all day and stuff like that and all this hardware and this and that. And this game is the best. You do all of that, but then when the game come out, you don't buy it and you don't get sequels. Something has to give. Something has to give. So while I do blame Microsoft because they're in the gaming industry and they have hardware out there that they've sold to people, they need to support it. I do understand you can't expect them to support something if people don't go out and buy it. They can't invest in new studios and new IP if people didn't buy the first one. I see people right now, please, Microsoft, get this Sunset Overdrive 2. We need it now. And it's like,
well, man, you better watch your language real close right now.
Yeah, it's like, you SOBs, you didn't even buy the first one. How about you go out right now as a group and just buy all the Sunset Overdrive copies, maybe 1 million or 2 of them, and they'll be able to get the money back to be able to create a sequel. But until then, I mean, and this is not just one game. Man. This is multiple games this generation that have not sold on that particular platform. So I don't know. I mean, what is Microsoft to do? I mean, what do you do? Anybody know?
I got ideas, but they're not friendly.
Share.
I got plenty of ideas.
Share.
Oh well, one of the things in particular I've always advocated for, at least for the last 2 years, has been Microsoft, first of all, needs to diversify their internal studios. They don't need to buy any new studios. They don't need to set up any new ones. They could do well with the ones they have. They just put them on other projects. Like, I have a family-friendly term for this, but I'll say it. I call it the side bitch franchise. Where you have the Coalition, you got 343, you got Rare,
Turn 10.
and you got Turn 10. You got 4 decent studios right there. What you could do is if you told each of them, okay, 343, you're making the next Halo. Coalition, you're making the next Gears. The next Forza. And Rare, you're making the next whatever. But what you also do is you split. These studios are big; they have a couple hundred people. Mm-hmm. What you do is you make a splinter section on each one. You say, okay, you take maybe 50 people off of a 200-man team. You say, okay, while this team is making the new thing, or we're making the next game, we want you guys to make something new. We're gonna let these guys go finish Halo 6. But right after that, we want you guys to make something new. Do whatever you want to do. A different game, I don't care. Go make something new. And so in the meantime, where that studio's still working on the next one, working on the next Halo game, this sub part of the studio is making the next big thing. Bethesda does this all the time. What they'll do is when they go into development for the next thing, they have one team that's for Fallout, and they have one team that's for Elder Scrolls. So what will happen is, we'll start off with Skyrim as the big point. The team was working on Skyrim, doing all the work, getting in there, but maybe 30 guys were holding back working on Fallout 4. They were sitting back there doing their thing. Skyrim comes out, and it's all ready to go, and the rest of the team all moves over to Fallout production. They go full force focused on Fallout. And then maybe 30 guys stay behind on the Skyrim team is working on DLC and maybe working on the next Skyrim or the next Elder Scrolls game. And so they're doing their thing. And so they're sitting back there doing all the groundwork, creating lore, doing research, making up map designs, doing things that takes a lot of time but doesn't need a lot of manpower. So you have this whole team you have 2 teams internally working on 2 different projects, but you're managing the time correctly with the amount of people you have. You already have the time and the resources. You have the people to do all of this. Yeah. You don't need 300 people to work on Halo 6 at all times for 4 years. You don't need that. So what you do instead is you say, okay, maybe we take a little time, maybe like every 2 years, like let's say like Halo 5 came out in 2015. You say, okay, 2017, let's say 2018, we put out our new franchise, our new next big thing. And then we wait 2 years after that. And so in 2021, we got Halo 6. So you have a lot of time between the next Halos, but so each Halo feels important, and it feels like you have something going on there. It feels like a big jump instead of an incremental one. Instead, you have a opportunity for them to kind of get their creative juices flowing, to do something a little bit different. So when they come back to Halo, they're rested and relaxed to do something familiar, and take what they learned from the other franchise into the main one. So to kind of take the same thing what I've been saying a little bit earlier and apply it to a different studio, you say, let's take the Coalition. Coalition comes out, puts Gears of War 4, comes out, last year. They take this year off, and the year after that, and then in 2018, they come out and they say, hey, we're coming out with a new game. It's going to be the Shanghai game that they showed off. They say, okay, cool, Shanghai, it's going to be dope. And so in 2020, it comes out, or sorry, 2019, it comes out, it's dope, it's ready to go. They wait 2 more years after that, and then 2023, they say, hey, Gears of War 5's out. So you got a little bit of time, you have the studios, you have people to do what you need to do, but you allow the studio to remain fresh and active to make something worthwhile.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, okay, if they do that, let's say the games that come out aren't good or they don't sell, then what do they do?
Well, scrap it.
Go back to what's safe, I guess.
The only thing
the next big thing is going to scrap it. You have one game, namely, as their thing. It doesn't have to be a big AAA game they don't want it to. It's just something different.
Listen,
for them to get their juices flowing.
Even if Microsoft had, let's say, 20 indie titles that they marketed this year, the game, even if they were just filler games, it would have made a huge difference in 2017. But the mere fact that they didn't have anything besides Voodoo Vents and Phantom Dust and then Cuphead, that was a big blow, and it just so happened to fall in the same year that Sony has released more IPs than any time ever. So it really showed you the stark difference.
Yeah, this is Sony's blowout year.
Yeah.
Dude,
so
I think
they chose Microsoft chose the wrong time to have a sparse year, to have no games. If any other year would have been okay. Even next year would have probably been okay, but they chose the wrong time. Sony came out the gate with like 4 and 5 games a week.
They had Sony's published 22 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's across, PS4, Vita, and PSN. But still, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Vita's still alive?
Yeah. It is.
It's still pumping. There's still some. Hey, there's PS Vita games planned for the end of 2018. So,
dude, there's still games.
Someone's playing it
on PlayStation Plus. You'll get them, and they have Vita support, like the same game. Still,
right. The crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, last month Sony had PS3, PS Vita, PSVR, PlayLink, and PS4 games. I was like, "Good Lord, guys!"
Yeah.
Chill.
And the thing about it is, besides them dropping big games, there's all these VR games, and then you have the indie games, and then they're getting the exclusive third-party deals that And it's like, geez, it's like, every PlayStation guy has a backlog this year. It's ridiculous. So,
oh, dude, this year was the year of the backlog for me. That was rough.
Yeah.
Even as an Xbox guy, it was all about backlog games.
Yeah.
Getting caught up.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with the backlog, oddly enough.
Oh, that's good.
Almost finished it.
So I just wanted 2018. What do we have? We have Sea of Thieves, Crackdown,
State of Decay 2.
State of Decay 2, which I'm really looking forward to. And what else? I mean, is that it?
Well, they moved that to the beginning of the year to compete. I feel like they're taking a lot of things from PlayStation that they've seen PlayStation be successful with is releasing their titles at the beginning of the year, and then allow third parties to have their time in the fall.
Here's the thing with that being said. The last 4 years, there has always been this advertisement and this saying in the Xbox community about Microsoft has they're going to have the best holiday launch lineup. It's all about the holiday, but they'd still not win the holiday. They'd still always lose the holiday. So it's like that strategy has never worked. That strategy has never worked.
That's not necessarily true, but
but what I'm saying,
they win their October, November, then after that it's over and they move on.
If you
so they win Halloween and they win Thanksgiving. Okay, get it?
Exactly.
They don't have to win Christmas, man. Chill.
Exactly. Out of 10 out of 12, 2 out of 12 months, and if that's considered, a success, then hey, it's a success. But you have to have something to keep me interested, because I'm not gonna lie, man. My Xbox has been collecting dust for quite a while. Even State of Decay 1, I've been playing it on the PC since it's crossplay. I've been playing it on the PC more than I have the Xbox, and I'm getting this Scorpio Day 1. I just have a feeling I'm going to be doing the same thing with that one until they come out with something new. I'm a new games guy. I'm not an old games guy. The stuff that I beat 2 and 3 years ago, I could care less about that stuff today.
Hey, if your Xbox One S needs a new home, I'll give you an address. You send it to
collector's items. So
do it.
I want if Microsoft just comes out and say, hey, look, we know we don't have this, we know we don't have that, we're getting that, it's coming, let me show you my hand. That's what Sony did last PlayStation experience. They opened up their complete portfolio and say, look, this is what we have for the next 2 and 3 years. Sure, some of those games are far off, but at least we know, and we know that our investment is good for another 2 to 3 years. Microsoft, we don't know, because we don't know what they have coming besides the stuff that should have came 2 years ago. That was delayed, So, and most of the stuff that we were really interested in, like Fable Legends, Scalebound, and all that stuff was canceled. So I need some kind of reassurance from them. And again, I'm getting the Scorpio. I'm gonna buy day one, but man, it'll just be really good to have that reassurance that they really are dedicated to new IPs and new games, in gaming.
Yeah, I get that. And I don't know. Personally, I don't like to know way too much in advance. I want to know what's going on for the next year.
Yeah.
I figure that's enough for me to know, be like, okay, I'm good till this time. And when the Microsoft started doing that, in 2014, 2015, I was like, okay, that's good, because you actually have something to show. But this year in particular was worse, because they didn't have anything. The fact that fact that this holiday lineup is the worst they've had ever.
Yeah.
Where there's just nothing. Forza doesn't count. I don't count Forza. Now, if it was Forza Horizon, then we're talking. but Motorsport, no. That doesn't count. At least with this one, it's just they had this. If they had like a lineup like they did last year, where it was ReCore, Gears of War 4, Forza, and whatever the other one was. Like if you had that kind of lineup, people wouldn't care.
Yeah,
it's good. People would not be asking this question now.
Yeah,
he will be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine. I don't need to know like the next 3 years. I'm good because they had games coming out now, and they knew what games were coming out later. Yeah. But the situation is now because they don't have anything. That's what makes it worse.
Well, do you think by Phil Spencer saying, the stuff that they have in the pipeline is going to take 2 or 3 years to deliver? Do you think that instilled any confidence in the gamers? I mean, the diehards, or?
In all honesty, no shit. Like because the thing was like if Phil literally jumped in and for the last 2 or 3 years has not signed off on anything.
Yeah,
what are you even doing here?
Yeah. Go home, Phil.
Yeah,
because that was the thing. Like Scalebound was the last Don Matrick IP they signed. Yeah. Everything 2018 and forward is all stuff Phil Spencer had put into order because now it takes 2 to 3 years for these dev cycles in particular. And I'm looking forward to. What did you say was worth it?
Yeah.
What was worth this shitty 2017? I need to know.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of. Okay, we've been waiting all these years, right? We've been waiting quite a long time, and nothing it hasn't come into fruition yet. So I'm just afraid. It's like you're gonna look back in the history of time and be like, "Hey guys, remember that 8th generation when we waited freaking 6 years and nothing ever came?" And I mean, I do not want Xbox to go the way of the Dreamcast. I don't want to remember it that way. I do want these guys to spend the money and do try to be number one. I just think they're comfortable with being second and third place. They're just comfortable where they are with just the services and stuff. And as a gamer, I'm not. It's like both companies, all the companies should be striving to be number one. And we're the gamers. We win when they all strive to be number one.
Yep.
And I'll go on the record saying the only reason I think Sony's in the position that it's in is because the company itself did so horribly before investing in the game division. So this is their bread and butter. They have no choice but to dominate and to invest in all these IPs and hardware. They have no choice. The movie division is a loss, and everything else that they had is a loss. They closed out, they sold buildings, they did all of that. This is the only thing keeping them afloat, and they have no choice but to have this to work for them. And it's making them a lot of money. It's successful, and we're winning as gamers. But maybe if Microsoft had that same mentality, they would be kicking ass right now.
Yeah, I think if Microsoft was in that same boat, they would have closed the Xbox division a long time ago. To where, I mean, like, because that I don't know, man. Like, it compared to how huge that company is and everything they're doing, but who knows? Like, hey, something that I noticed today when I turned on my Xbox was when you guys remember when the Xbox launched, it had these Connect only games that were had like one where you walk around Disneyland and so on and so on.
Yeah,
they're re-releasing them, and they're going to be in native 4K HDR, and you play with them on your controller. Like, I just thought that was weird. Like, these games, like, that were built around the Kinect.
Rise was built around the Kinect, and at the last minute they took it out.
Oh gosh.
So I see them do. I mean, that makes sense if they can kind of resalvage some old IPs that they had and just kind of make them to play with it, and then resell them. Like, hey, we have games here. I can kind of see them doing that, but God, man, next year is not making me any happier because while they do have some games like State of Decay, which I'm going to buy, and Sea of Thieves, which I'm going to buy, those games are going to go up against the juggernauts like Spider-Man, God of War, Detroit becomes. I mean, those games have no chance going against the competition, and that's what I'm afraid that those games are going to get lost in the mix with Nintendo's games and Sony's games. I mean,
like this Christmas, what game do you, as a gamer, are you like, that is the one game I want to play, regardless of system? Like, what's the one game you said, that's the one game I'm going to be playing all through Christmas?
Mario, definitely. Without a doubt.
I hate to admit this. I hate to admit it. I'm grudgingly going to say this. Call of Duty World War II.
What?
Hey, that game's good. The beta was awesome. I liked it.
I didn't.
So I don't know what it is about it. See, back in my college years, I was really big into the Call of Duty circuit. We did game battles, we did all that kind of stuff. I was like the snarky support guy. Mm-hmm. I was the guy who was like, I'm getting my UAVs, I'm getting my advanced UAVs, I'm getting my stealth bomber. This is me. I'm sitting in the back, I'm calling out stuff, taking out any support, all that kind of stuff. That was me.
Yeah. Wow.
What?
I was, and playing with my friends was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In Call of Duty, that was when Call of Duty was fun to me. And with this one in particular, it's going back to the basics. It's going back to World War II, which, all things considered, it's been a little while since we played a real World War II shooter like that.
Well, because every game back then was World War II, and it got so saturated, we got tired of it. And then they moved it to the future, and then it was like, okay,
now we're all sick of it.
Tired of that. Let's go back. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm looking forward. I want to play. I want to play some World War II. Again, I have not wanted to play Call of Duty since Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
That was the last Call of Duty I was like, I want to play.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've wanted to in a long time.
What about you, bro?
I feel like I need to play.
I'm a little. I don't know. I'm having difficulty choosing because, like, for multiplayer, it'll be Battlefront 2. Because I mean, you know, I love Star Wars. You'll see. You see me freak out over the Last Jedi trailers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's new Star Wars. So that's definitely going to be my go-to multiplayer game. Are any of y'all getting it? I mean, I know.
Nope.
Yeah. I know.
Garbage.
I know.
I'm just
the first one. So
I haven't seen anything about VR.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like. I don't know if it's going to come later via DLC or if they just hadn't unveiled it yet. But I mean, geez, something needs to give.
Yeah,
I mean that game is like perfect for like a saber battle because you got the move controllers and it just the whole thing. Even being in a fighter, you know, it's I don't know, man. I don't know. I think if not, I think it's a big missed opportunity.
Single player probably be Assassin's Creed and Mario. I mean, that's two total opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But what I've seen
the game I'm most pumped for.
I don't know how I'm gonna do in PUBG. We'll find out. Oh man. Like I tend to overthink things in those battle royale games.
Yeah.
Like I watch when I got big into Destiny, I used to love watching streamers play Destiny because that's how you get good. You watch people that are better than you can play, and PUBG is one of those games that I could sit and watch people play like continuously just because it's so engaging and stuff. There's even new streamers I started watching.
Yeah,
and I love watching them play and just watching because you really got to think on the spot with this stuff. And I literally can't wait to play that game. Like I thought about building a PC just to play that game.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, guys. When it comes to PC and stuff like that, instead of building a PC, I'm gonna tell you what I did because I mean I have a PC as well, but I went to Best Buy, got me a gaming laptop. It cost me I think $1,200. had a 1080, not a 1080, but a 1060 in it, and I play all my games perfectly fine with it. And I have, you know, top of the line video card and everything in my desktop rig, but I find myself playing my laptop more than I do my desktop now, only because if I'm at work or I'm traveling somewhere, I keep my laptop in my backpack and it just does the job nice, quick, and easy. And so when people are talking about PC, you know, it's like, I got to build this. You don't have to. Just go to the store and get you a decent rig and, you know, decent PC and call it a day. You don't have to have, you know, 1080 Ti's and stuff. That's for people who want, you know, who have 4K monitors. That's for people who want, you know, the crazy high resolution of frames. And it's like, hey, you can play in 4K. You don't have to have, you know, 200 frames. I mean, yeah. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it.
65% of PC gamers on 720p laptops.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was like a thing last year. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't remember. But there was like a big study that came out by Steam, and they said that it was like 65% of all Steam users are on like have like a maximum settings of like 720p, and it was like, oh god,
yeah,
this is not what anyone needed to see.
Yeah, but the bulk of the people don't necessarily play the games that we play.
No, there's everybody who uses Steam though. That was the thing. We don't really know, but who exactly? But
exactly,
that was the idea.
Yeah. All right, Brah, you have any more topics, man?
I guess we're good for now, man. It's getting kind of late. I mean, we could talk all night. I mean, there is more topics we can talk about. Like, I wanted to do Paris Games Week predictions, but I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Nothing of note will happen.
Yeah, nothing. PSX is going to be your big show. There's not going to be much of anything.
I think there'll be some. I mean, I think we'll see Dreams again, Wild, maybe some new Detroit Becoming Human release date, maybe, and maybe some indie VR titles, maybe a PS4 price drop. Since it's, you know, it's October 30th.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later is November, so I could see some kind of price drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're getting kind of close to that. Yeah. If you're gonna do it now.
Didn't they drop it 1 year at Paris Games Week? They announced the price drop.
I don't know.
Did that up there, but
I don't know. The PlayStation Experience is their E3 from here on out. Is their E3, their big Super Bowl.
That'll definitely be the big one, but I think
it's basically Sony's game plan is E3 is here's the AAA stuff that all our investors care about, and then it's gonna be PlayStation Experience is gonna be all fan service.
Yeah.
It is.
Totally.
Here's every AA, every second party game, every little thing that you could possibly love right here.
But no, I think there'll be some announcements at Paris Games Week. I mean, nothing too big, but it'll be some newsworthy, some articles.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a great chat tonight, so I can't really be like, well, I wanted to talk about this, but you know, everything went great. So
it's always organic, man. It's always organic.
That's the best kind of show.
Yeah.
And we had fun. I'm sure Anchorman at the beginning was kind of like, what the hell have I agreed to? We're talking about coffee, darkened sugar, and PlayStation Brah,
just real on here.
Nah, I like my women like I like my coffee, Colombian.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice.
Go wrong there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we'll go ahead and close it for the night. Just want to say thanks, guys, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Whenever you guys, you know, I'm like, hey guys, want to be on here? Hell yeah, I'm down, dude. It always makes me feel good that you guys want to come on here and engage and discuss video games with me. Because I'm just some crazy white guy.
I love this.
I'm just, you guys don't know me in real life. I'm you know, I'm pretty crazy. Okay. In a good way.
Yeah.
I'm an odd fellow. Okay?
I'm good. I'll promise.
There's definitely only one PlayStation Brah, and that's probably a good thing. So, but, thanks for supporting me, and guys, just close it out. Tell about yourself. Pimp your websites, Anchorman. Do what you got to do, man. Kraven, you be Kraven.
Just socially awkward. Yeah, I don't have any cool input.
Check out my Twitch, I think.
Check my Twitch or maybe my Twitter. You could stop by.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead and close it out, guys. So Kratos, do your thing, son.
Everybody, thanks for rocking out with us. It's your boy J-Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation. Another one in the history books. Thanks again, Brah, for the invite, and KravenGod, as usual, man. It's always good. And the Anchorman. We finally, seen him walking the street, and we bullied him and duct taped him and drug him over here. So we finally got him. And thanks for coming on, man. Thanks. As usual, it's always good chopping it up with you.
Anchorman, Kratos is the one that recommended you this week.
All right.
I was like, who should we have on? He's like, what about Anchorman? He's really cool. I'm like, and he's been asking to be on too. He's like, that's perfect. So
yeah,
Kratos, you gotta give him a nice back massage.
Totally I say we got him. Finally, he agreed. He agreed to our terms. We finally made his salary.
Yeah.
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 Well, guys, it was a great podcast. As usual, everybody in the chat section, hit that like, subscribe, hit the bell, and make sure you guys subscribe to the Tick Podcast, where Anchorman is always there. Follow him on Twitter. Obviously, make sure you follow all of us on Twitter, and we're there every day, all day, acting crazy. So that's just what we do.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, it's always.
All right, guys.
All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, one last thing I should probably ask.
Go ahead.
I need an explanation for all my PlayStation dudes.
Oh yeah.
Axe body spray and body wash thing on the featured list of the PlayStation Store.
Hey man.
There's no link to buy any.
Gotta pay the bills.
There's just a video.
Gotta pay the bills, brother. Hey, Sony's hurting. Sony's hurting for money, man. They don't have those billions like Microsoft,
No, I was out there trying to pick up Observer, and I was like, "Why is there an Axe body wash thing on the store?" It's like whole screen. It's everywhere.
Yeah, tune in next week and see what they have. It's gonna be toilet tissue. Yeah. I mean, they gotta pay bills.
Next week, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you're gonna see some Microsoft advertisement, Xbox X advertisement on it.
Xbox One X.
Guys, I was playing Xbox. I forgot to take a shower all week.
Exactly.
Oops. No, the crazy thing I ever saw was PlayStationLifestyle.net. I went to the website, and the entire site was decked out in Xbox stuff. Yeah. Nothing but ads. I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But you gotta pay bills, right? That's what
You gotta pay the bills, man.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll message Shuhei and ask him why the axe was on there.
I need answers, Shu.
We're kind of cool. I'm not trying to brag. We go to lunch sometimes, but I'll ask him. I'll get to the bottom of this, Anchorman. I promise you.
He'll send you a kitty cat emote.
I will give you a detailed synopsis, okay? Don't worry. Only for you. Only for you, bro. But let's wrap this up, boys. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. And, of course, thanks for my lovely fellow guests. And game on, bro. Game on.
Game on. Peace out, guys.
Wah, 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 wah.